Hello, it's day 3. Boop, 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 boop. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Joy 365. It's your girl, Sarah. So, today we are talking about how sometimes joy isn't so black and white, meaning sometimes joy isn't just, oh, this brings me so much joy from the very beginning. How sometimes joy comes from you accomplishing something. How sometimes joy comes from you celebrating something. How sometimes joy comes from you following through on something. How joy isn't always just, ooh, I love dancing, I'm going to dance right now. But sometimes joy comes from, hard work and doing something which initially doesn't feel fun, but you know that once you start, it's going to feel great. You know that once it's over, it's going to feel great. A simple example being some people don't love exercising from the beginning. People don't want to always start exercising. I mean, I do, I love it. But some people, aren't like, oh, yay, let me go run on the treadmill. But, once they start, they feel great and they have so much joy while they're doing it and then afterwards. So yeah, today's reminder is that joy sometimes comes after you start or at the end. So to remember that. And so I'm sharing a few tips with you today, two tips about how to get that joy in when, the initial joy doesn't feel fun or joyful. How to do that. So the first tip is to trick yourself. And the second tip is to start small. So I'll start with the start small one. So the start small one actually relates perfectly to exercise in terms of I've done this before and had my clients do this successfully as well. That sometimes, I've taught my Zumba class and then I've been like, oh, I really want to do some core exercises afterwards. So I've said, okay, let me just, Sarah, just do 2 minutes of it. And yeah, sometimes I've just done 2 minutes of it. And stuck with that, which is great, better than nothing. And oftentimes I've continued, I've been having fun and continued and done even more minutes of some great core strengthening exercises. And so that is my tip, start small, and either you'll, accomplish just that, which is great, better than nothing, or you'll continue and do, 20, 30 minutes of whatever it is, which is great if we're talking about, exercise, for example. My client's done that successfully with a morning routine, doing some yoga and stretches and self-reflection and often going longer than her initial thought of what she was going to do. So that's one way, start small, which is also kind of a trick within itself. I think of that as start small as well as kind of tricking yourself into starting by saying, I'm just going to do this amount of time. And then the other example, so the tricking example or tricking tip, way to bring yourself joy, example is, so earlier this week, I was doing work and I don't always, even though I do love my business, I don't always feel like, oh yeah, I feel like doing work this very second. But after I've started and, after I've accomplished it, I feel really joyful because I do really love, getting to help others feel great and, share these awesome tips and help my clients and inspire everyone. So, after I'm doing it or while I'm doing it, I do enjoy it and I do feel great, but sometimes starting is tough. So this past week, on Wednesday, I think it was, to trick myself, I said, okay, just do 1 or 2 hours of work. After that, you can watch a TV show. And so that might sound weird to you, but I'm an entrepreneur, so even if I watch a TV show at 4 p.m., it doesn't matter because I can do work, well into the evening. So that's what I said to myself, and I started my work. And then I ended up, loving it so much, having so much fun getting to help my clients that I ended up literally working for like 4, 5, 6 hours in a row, not needing a break, and it was great. So that is my tip for you. Trick yourself into doing it. Another example is I used to not enjoy preparing healthy food. I used to still eat healthy, but I wasn't cooking it myself. So to help myself roast vegetables, I would just walk in the door and immediately turn on the oven. Boom. And so that was my trick into getting myself to do it, because once the oven was already on, was I really going to just not roast vegetables? And the answer was always, yeah. I would turn the oven on. I would go in the other room, take a shower, or do whatever for a few minutes. And I'd be like, oh yeah, the oven's on. And I'd go and I'd roast my vegetables. So that trick of, having it already started partly really helped me. And so now it's like crazy to me that I thought that was hard before, but That's the case. So think for yourself, is there something that, you find hard to start, but that once you have started brings you so much joy and you're so proud of yourself from your accomplishment? What is that something and how can you trick yourself into doing it, or how can you start small? So think of that, take that action step this week, and help yourself out. So that is my awesome tip for you again. It's about, thinking what is something that brings me joy, but maybe not initially, but that I know brings me joy, and how can I get myself to do that? So ponder on that and take that awesome action today and bring yourself some more joy. And I wanted to also say thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy to have you on this journey. And if you know anyone who would benefit from this, please do share this with them, because it's my mission to inspire as many people as I can, to share these awesome, joyful, healthy tips and strategies with as many as I can. So thank you so much for sharing this if you feel called to do so I can inspire as many as I can. Have an awesome day, sending you so much joyful, healthy living vibes. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 4. But for now, day 3, Sarah out. All right, bye.